Very, very good morning to this Cafe Clairvoyance. It's Wednesday. That's right, Wednesday, 17th of March. Lovely to see you guys. It's a wonderful morning out here in Spain. Hope it's nice wherever you are, guys. And big, warm welcome to you. Let's do a little bit of this. Loads to tell you today. Joined by the fabulous, fabulous astrologer and psychologist Guiomar Ramirez Montesinos. Though she always says to be here, you nearly say it right, but not quite. But that's a Spanglish way. How's that? Anyway, in the meantime, let's do a little bit of this. Hello, very good morning, everybody, and I hope your day's going fine. We're midweek. We're also just past the midway point of March, and loads of energies going on out there. And what is it, guys, you want to start doing? What is it you want to initiate? Is there something out there that you have a plan with, perhaps? Perhaps you'd like to share it with us. Well, there's a morning out there. It's an astrological morning of fine energy, and we need to get talking to our wonderful friend Guiomar, who's going to join me in just a moment. I'm going to see if she's there, and and we'll get going. Oh, there she is. There she is. That's great. That's great. Okay, alrighty. Let's go and bring Guiomar on. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Phil. Good morning, everybody.
Very good morning to you, and very good morning to everybody out there too. And Debra says, hello, everyone. That's absolutely lovely. Good morning, Debra. Okay, guys, as the show goes live here, I'll remind you a couple of times, if I could, is that please press the share button and share this show. It's free, it's live, and that's all we ask you guys to do. So that'll be fabulous. You can do that. Okay, now, we've got quite a lot of energy out there this morning, haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right now, we still have a lot of Pisces energy, which is like seeding things in us.
Yes.
But like soon, the signs are going to change. The plants are going to change sign. Where spring is coming, and everything's going to start moving more. But the thing is that up until now, most of us have the way we've done things hasn't been in a very grounded way. So basically, we've had ideas flying in our mind, and then we sort of carry something out, and it just goes all over the place. But that's because we haven't done like the practical bit of watering and taking care of the seed of that inspiration that we have. So if we want to do something new, keep in mind that many people are going to reinvent themselves now, or in the process of reinventing. So it's about doing things that haven't been done before. It's about starting a totally new way of doing things in life, to new projects. So there's no previous experience. You're not, let's say that what you're going to do now, in the near future, you haven't done before. And in many cases, nobody's ever done before. So it's not recorded in your cerebellum. It's not recorded in the collective consciousness, which means you have to start working on the little baby steps towards that direction. And that can be like confusing.
Yeah, I love it when we start something new, when something new comes into our pathway. And sometimes it's like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? But there's the other side of it, which is like so exciting. Guys, this is so new. It's almost like a new gadget, a new technology, whatever it is here. Okay, good morning from everyone. Jay says a very good morning to us all. Good morning, Jay. Debra says, good morning, Guiomar. Good morning. And she also says good morning to everyone else. And Susanna Flannery, Flower Flannery, she also comes in and says a very good morning. So good morning to you guys so far. Lovely, lovely morning it is. Yes, so I'm going to bring up the astrology chart here. We can just drop this in and we can see what's going on there. Ah, Laura, the wonderful Laura. Lovely to see you too, Laura Graham. Okay, great. Okay, so here's our... game of tag. So we still got all this energy back here, which starts in Capricorn and goes all the way back to Pisces, and Pisces with 27 degrees of Pisces. Already we're near the end of it. It's crazy, isn't it? Like, We're going so far through this quite quickly. Okay, right. Now we've got everything about to change sign, and you're saying about initiation starting things new. I totally
Yes.
agree with you because a lot of people are coming to me this morning, and they're all saying here that they're looking to start something and engage something which is going to be, as you say, something very new, but to push guys forwards. Now, we also got here a lot of people talking about social anxiety, like, for instance, people going back into work and how they're feeling this tension. And we've got Mercury in Pisces, which is about to square to Mars. And Mercury is our communicator, and Mars is our energy. Our energy
Yeah,
there, how we're going through.
that creates a lot of tension and
Yeah,
collaboration, a
yes,
lot of misunderstandings, a lot
yes,
of you might think it's a lie, or the person's lied to me, or they're hiding something from me, but it's really not a lie. It's not, nobody's doing anything to you. It's that you're
yeah,
not seeing things clearly, and these opportunities, these energies allow us to realize what we were not seeing before, what was veiled before.
yes, yes. And it's interesting as we've gone through this year, and I think it's been quite amazing how people had the most. I guess if I use the verb profound, which would probably be a good verb to use, or the word of it, profound, is how we've gone through so many realizations in such a short space of time.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
And it's
yes.
like the year is, although there's not much going on out there, what's going on in here and here is a lot.
Yeah. I mean, the last, say, 10 days, it was a big process of like gestation and rebirthing, reparenting yourself, and seeing like this a few days ago, like all these old patterns coming up and going like, oh my God, now I see it. Now I understand it. No, why? Because all that has to be cleared.
Yes.
If we want to incarnate a new version of ourselves
Yeah.
and create a new life on this planet, we have to clear out the old.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the way to do so is for those things to come up and feel them.
Yes.
And
And sometimes, yeah, they're not very comfortable, some of them, are they?
but the external circumstances are there for us to be able, to trigger us to be able to feel and see those patterns.
I think this as well is a lot of time that people need to talk about what they're feeling as well, because I think that's
Yeah.
what's going to help people a great deal. Because as we're just seeing the chart here now and just what's going on, I'll just shrink this down a little bit and we'll come back to that in a minute. But as we're experiencing this particular time period we're going through, I think it's very interesting as well that maybe a lot of us here have to really get these words out about what we're thinking, what we're feeling, for us to really see what we're going through.
Yes, but it's very important when people express what they feel to understand that feelings shouldn't be filtered. Feelings are just what's going on inside and trying to manifest through you.
Yes,
So the more we allow, like for example, maybe today I'm suddenly angry at you. I'm
yes.
just feeling anger, and I'm feeling angry at you because that's the only way my mind knows to how to understand this feeling I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So if I express that, but if you understand that, you're not going to take it personal.
No, I
Even if
agree.
they
Yes,
angry at you, you're
yes,
going to go, okay, she has she has anger right now. She needs to express her anger.
yeah. Okay,
Okay, we
okay.
can be honest emotionally and understand that when the other person is emoting, even though it seems that they're emoting on you, it's about them. It's not about you. If you take it personal, that's the bit that is about you.
Yes, that's a bit about you. I agree with you. Yes, and it's interesting when we do have um, tensions and things needs to come out, and we have got these angers. Is obviously relationships can feel this and create tension a bit. But if you've got a very understanding partner, going, okay, all right, we're obviously going through something here, without taking it personally, then your relationship is just going to turn something which could appear to be not necessarily negative, but turn it into a positive anyway. Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a few people coming this morning. They say here, Susanna says, I've learned to need to feel the pain, link it to a time, and let it go. Absolutely, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, and the way to listen to people is it's not, oh no, you're going through something. It's more like, oh, so you're feeling angry. Oh, so you have, what is it for you? What are you angry about? So you ask the other person, okay, you validate their feeling and then ask, okay, why do you think you're feeling, or why are you feeling this? What's, and that will allow the person to reorder themselves
Yes.
and
And
position
sometimes we're
themselves.
thinking when we're angry, we try to explain why we're angry. Sometimes we feel stupid actually talking about why we're angry.
Because that's, we're not used to validating feelings.
Yes, yes,
Like, no, you
absolutely.
don't. Because
Yes.
you say, "Oh, I'm angry because my pencil broke." Oh, that's silly. You can buy a new pencil. No, I'm
That's
angry.
a lot to get angry about.
I'm angry. So why are you about the pencil? Because I really like that pencil. It was a very special pencil for me. Okay, so what's the issue about that? Why is it bad that you lose the special pencil? Because a special pencil made me feel special. Okay, so you're angry at not being able to feel special. So in which way are you not turning up in the world so you show your specialty or your specialness in the world, for example?
Yes, it's interesting that. It's very interesting that. And I like the point that Susanna's brought up, we've brought up here is, and I love this, what Susanna said, to come back to this actually, because I think it's really important. I'm just looking for the point where you said this. Oh, yes, there it is. Yeah, it's this one here. I've needed to feel the pain and link it to a time. Let it go. Because if we don't link it to a time, it hangs around us now.
Yeah, we have to link it to something. It can be a time, it can be a word, and it can be a physical sensation in your body, it can be a shape. When you
Mm.
link it to something, you automatically make the unconscious conscious. And once you make the unconscious conscious, then you can move the energy, letting it go.
Isn't that a nice feeling to make the unconscious conscious? And it's 11:11 when we're thinking about making the unconscious conscious. Isn't that amazing? We just say that at the right time, and there we go. It's making your unconscious conscious, guys. So how about that for a bit of a metaphor this morning? Looking at making our unconscious conscious of the things we felt angry about. It's not about the pencil. It's not about that. It's about releasing and knowing what it is you're angry about, making
Yeah,
conscious of it, and letting it go.
and the way to make it conscious is really, it's not about overthinking it, it's about naming it, connecting it with a time, with an image, with a word. It's basically when we feel, it's right brain stuff.
Yeah.
And when we put a time, a place, a word, a form, a shape, whatever, it's left brain.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is connecting left and right brain. That's what helps the integration.
And that's a
That's
nice
what
feeling. That's a nice
both.
feeling to be able to talk to it like that. And the more we use, I like left brain stuff because as soon as we start creating with imagination, then we start doing something pretty powerful.
Hmm.
Yes, we're
Yeah.
able to turn that imagery around. It's a lovely feeling. Yes, a lot of people's coming in. So we got Joe Gardner saying good morning all. We got Susie Westcott, good morning. Yep, got your details there. And Eleni, we got your details. And we got all the other people coming through as well. So very, very good morning to you all. Okay, guys, as we go through the show, this is what we'd like you to do. We've got 3 special dragons. And if you know any dragons, then these ones are just for you as well. This is what we'd like you to do. Very good morning to you guys. I'm joined by the fabulous Guiomar Ramirez Montesinos. We're talking astrology. We're talking current times. We're talking about the mind. We're talking about energy. We're talking about all things spiritual, and it's about us feeling that wonderfulness to get us grounded, but also where we've become ungrounded is about regrounding ourselves before we start something new. Now, isn't it interesting? Before you start
I'll,
something new is to be grounded before you start it.
and I'll give you an example. For example, when you started this Cafe Clairvoyance last March, was it? Yeah.
February time. It's just over a year old. Yes.
Yeah, you had no idea about, how do you use this? How do you do this? How do you, what program to use, what equipment to use, the audio, the lighting, whatever, backdrop, shape, format, people. There's like, you've never done this before.
Nope.
You come from somewhere totally different. So it's like I have an idea. Okay, now what? So some people, what they do is, I have an idea. I want to create a radio show. Okay, so I'm gonna get the best mic possible. I'm gonna buy the best program possible, and it's like, okay, so the mic and the program are gonna solve everything for me, and then what?
And
There's no
then what?
content.
And then what?
And there's no
Yes.
content. So that's how we've been doing things. Well, not everybody, obviously, but many people have been doing things like that. So the thing is that now, since everything is changing so much and we're going to create a new world, basically, we, we don't have the experience to do what we're going to do. We don't have any past references for that. It's everything is new. So it's very easy to just, okay, I got the idea. Yeah, we're being seeded with ideas for the last like 2 months or 3 months almost, and it's like we got a lot of ideas in there, whether we're conscious of it or not. And now it's like, okay, I want to do something with this. I want to create something with this. Okay, yeah, but you got to ground it. You got to you got to be methodic. You got to
Mm-hmm.
start
Mm-hmm.
step by step. Okay, so what do I need? Do I know what content to create, for example? Do I have the basics to be able to create this? Do I have the connections? Do I have the means? So it's step by step taking care and nurturing all these little things, like if it were just a seed that you're watering and that it turns into a plant. You're not going to just, ask the
Yeah.
seed to give you cucumbers. It's not going to happen.
Very important stuff here, which is something that's starting on the 26th of March. 26th of March is Cafe Networking. Cafe Network, which is similar to this, is like a sister show, a sister thing to this. We're doing exactly that. And one of the things, guys, if you're thinking of doing something, you're starting something off, a great thing to go and do is mind map. Mind map. What it is, where you are, where you want to be, what resources, what's out there, how you need, what it is you need to get you to the place that you're going to, and that will help a great deal. Have a great deal here.
Yes. Then, but then, like, this is a conversation I had this morning with a friend, and so he was like he's a planner, and he likes to plan things ahead, and he likes to have the ideas, but his plans are two-dimensional. It's like a map,
Yes, yes,
and it's like he thinks that by knowing the map, you got the picture. You know how you're going to get there. You know what you're going to find in between. And no, the reality is three-dimensional, and not only is it three-dimensional, but the map is just a portion of the reality that you're looking at. So the three-dimensional reality, the terrain, the hills, the valleys, the rivers, the towns, everything comes from something.
yes.
And when you look at that, when you do the planning, you don't see all these nuances and you don't understand the origin of things. So this is why it's important to, okay, you've done your mind map, but
Yep.
then you have to go into the world and start walking and
Yes.
start seeing and start feeling and start finding yourself with things. And then you want to cross the river, but there's no bridge. So what do you do? And then you find a town, and then you get find people, and you want to eat, and there's no food, or you have to ask for food, or there's a restaurant, or it's like there's all these things
Yes.
happening that
Yes.
doesn't
Yes.
that do not appear in the vision that you get with your mind map, with the map.
Exactly, because the map is not the territory. Yes,
Exactly.
a good NLP term. A good NLP term. The map is not a territory. You have to be there. You have to experience it and do it and take the actions, do it. And as you go along, and it's interesting here. One of the things as well, I've seen so many people, and I agree with this. I know we are creating something new. I know you want to get guys from one place to another. I've seen so many guys so hung up on they've got to get everything perfect right now before they start the journey. Which
Yeah,
okay,
which is
which won't work.
no,
No,
no.
because it's always going to change as you go along because the territory will
Exactly.
change.
Exactly. So this is the importance of bringing it down to the body, which means experiencing and action.
Yes.
Not long-term action, not okay, I gotta get my goals, achieve my goals tomorrow, but short-term action, which is what can I do today?
Yes. Yes.
And experiencing, and because the experience it's what's going to shift and shape, as you were saying, the whatever it is that you want to do. So you might thought you're okay, according to the map, I can go from point A to point B via this little line here, but then you're down in the ground, and there's a fence, and you can't jump over the fence, so you have to circle, go around the house.
Yeah.
So you have to experience your what you're going to do, what you want to do. You have to experience it, and as you experience it, you shift and shape it.
And don't give in. Don't give in. I mean, keep on going. You'll find a way. When you look at 3D, you'll find it's sometimes here the yes, you may find there's obstacles, but the obstacles can end up as also as opportunities. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Great. Right. Thank you very much, guys, to everyone who's joined us. Lovely to see you. This is a spiritual astrology show. This is my friend with my good friend Guiomar, and we talk astrology, we talk psychology, we also talk about the current climate, and we're also very shortly going to do some readings for you. The readings are going to be based on astrology, numerology, and cartomancy. And if you don't know what cartomancy is, you simply need to look at playing cards. Cartomancy, and also with the combination there too. You also find here that this morning we also ask you for a colour, because as a medium, I also need your colour to be able to tune in through the aura energy of you. So, for instance, like Joe here's put the colour red. That's great. Thank you very much. And Elanie's gone pink. Yep, that's great. Thank you very much. I can see all those details there, and we'll shortly do those readings. In the meantime, so we're coming up to the point where we're starting something new. It's interesting, isn't it? How timing just seems to be. And I think here that psychologists and psychoanalysis of the past are very much about synchronicity. We talk about Carl Jung and we talk about synchronicity. There's no such thing as, even in politics, Eleanor Roosevelt said that in politics, nothing happens by accident. No.
No, nothing happens by accident.
And nothing happens by accident. So
Carl Jung was an astrologer.
Yes, he was. He's a brilliant man as well, and he's very underrated. Put down by his partner, the ex-partner in time. But looking at the astrology and looking at the energy around us now, we're starting something new. We sometimes get to that pivotal point on the bridge where we're going, do I go forwards or do I go backwards? And sometimes here we need, and luckily Mars is around to give us a little bit of courage as it goes through Gemini. And then one thing I say about Gemini is it's a very communicative sign. It's very much about talking with people, finding out things, and sometimes we find out something, then it leads to another question, and then we need to go to another question. I would say, guys, not to get too bogged down in too many questions, but just get the basics that you need to start off a journey if you're starting something new, which I think would help us all. Yes, we're starting new things just as much as I imagine you are as well, Guiomar, and I think it's going to be quite an exciting year if we focus on the positives of what we're doing ourselves, and I think we've got quite an intriguing time. Brilliant.
I think looking at this combination, North Node with Mars and Gemini,
trining
Saturn in Aquarius. At the same time, we have this Pluto sextile Sun, so it's a bit like you can see Gemini as a bridge that has to be crossed.
Yes.
So I can imagine, like, okay, we have this vision of what we want to do, and then Mars gets to the bridge where the North Node is. North Node also talks about like our future, where we're going towards, and then you got somebody else on that bridge that's about to cross and get to the same nice prize that you're going for, because you had that vision, Jupiter, Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn, and Aquarius, and you want that. And so you see the other person in the bridge, then you go, you move the other person out of the way. It's like, no, I want to go first. And then Pluto's Sun says, yeah, you do want to go first, but are you sure?
Do you know what you're doing?
Are you sure? And it's like, I'm not prepared. I'm an imposter. I don't know if I know enough, but I do want to do that. So it's a bit like this.
Yes, this. Who's going first? Hang on a minute. No. I've got an idea. What idea? The plans changed. What do you mean the plans changed?
So I can imagine people even getting on like a bit competitive on that. It's like, yeah, I want to go. No, I'm not sure because I feel like an imposter. I haven't grounded it yet. But if you go first, I'm gonna feel jealous and I'm gonna get angry at you because you've got the bridge first and blah blah blah. So it's like,
yeah, exactly. I agree with you. Oh dear. Yes.
Why don't you just get together with that person and walk the bridge together? It's maybe you can combine resources and it's much easier.
I think so. Yes, yeah, I agree. It's also about understanding why the other person is on a bridge as well, and what things could happen to help one another. Now, the interesting thing to this, we often have in astrology what's known as a handle. a handle that makes things happen, that collects things together, and it's almost like starting an engine, like the old times of starting an engine where you used to have a handle in front of the engine, you used to wind it up. Sometimes we need something to move something forwards. And when you get a collection of planets between Pluto, which is up here, and the Sun, which is down here, one of these is going to be a driver because you've got the main collective of energy here. Could be Mars over there. Mars is normally something that really makes things happen. Could be the drive to go things forwards. I'm more inclined to go for Pluto, which is the inner transformer.
Very interesting, Phil, because when we talk, fascias, well, our bodies are the way we stand up, the way we can walk, and it's a combination between muscles,
Yes.
bones,
Yes.
fascia. Okay.
Yes.
So for me, fascia, bones, and of course skin have to do with Capricorn, by the way.
Yes.
Okay. So the fascias are have to do with a lot of things, including the way we feel our world and the way we feel ourselves inside. Okay,
Yes.
so it's proprioception, our
Yes.
body in the world, interoception, you in the inside.
Yes.
So whatever change that has to be made, say for example, you have your muscle hurts or whatever, you have a tight muscle here or a pain there, whatever change, the best way, more and more physiotherapists are starting understanding this, is that if you massage externally, it's the relief is going to be momentarily, because whatever caused the pain, the imbalance that caused the pain is still there.
I
So the
agree.
idea is
That's a great way of saying it. Yes.
to keep the imbalance from the inside, from the interoceptive muscles in the core of your body. So when the movement comes from inside the body, that in NLP you use that as like, it's like a visualize yourself doing
Yes.
something, no?
Yes.
So when the movement comes from the inside, which is what you're saying about Pluto, then it's more effective and it's more
Absolutely.
permanent.
Yeah.
Whereas when it comes from the outside, is more reactive and it's more flighty. So we want the movement to come from the inside.
And sometimes you need a slower planet to do that. Mars is quick, but it'll be a temporary relief. Pluto is
It
a
would
very
be
slow moving. It's a transformer. It's in a very it's the cardinal sign of Capricorn, which is the initiating sign anyway. The enterprise, the signs that want to come up and say, "Come on, let's get something going. Let's create something." And although
yeah.
creative are other words for other associated design with other zodiac signs, it's that starting to get something going, which is the Pluto bit. Mars is flighty. It's in Gemini. It's way. It's everywhere.
Yeah, which doesn't mean that Mars is wrong. So you
No.
can get some ideas from what Mars wants, but it's like, okay, this is what I saw, this is what I want, this, and it got me into a conflict, it got me into a stalemate or an apparent dead end. No, it's that's where Mars wants to go. So keep it in mind. No, don't discard it. No, it might be a good idea that Mars is giving us there.
I think so. And putting this into other words here is you've got Pluto the transformer, which is coming up within, writing the change, and using Mars with people to push yourself forwards. How's that?
Yes, even though Mars is reckless and the way it pushes forward, it causes secondary effects and collateral damages and all that stuff. But it doesn't matter. That's part of the adventure. So
It's quite,
those
yes.
collateral damages are issues that you have to deal with that are born from old patterns which don't let you advance the way you should. So we need that. We need to fight that battle to be able to free those old patterns that don't allow us to go where Pluto wants to go.
Very interesting morning. Very interesting morning indeed. Okay, right. We're going to do a little bit of this, guys. And then we got some readings to do for you people. And let's take it from the top. How's that? Okay, let's do a little bit of this. Just if we're going to the astrology side, guys, did you see the show yesterday with Sammy Hammy? It was absolutely beautiful. If you get a chance to the replay there to watch it, it was absolutely amazing. Sammy Hammy is a musical composer, composer, and he does everything from theatre to he's worked on Eurovision. He's worked. Yes, I know that nil pois stuff, but there you go. But he's worked on all that, and we were doing readings and music combined. It was a beautiful morning. So if you get a chance to
Nice.
go and rewatch that, it was absolutely beautiful, and I so enjoyed working with him. And he'll be coming on again, but he supplies all music to the show anyway. Just let you know that. Right, good. Okay, right. Let's go and have a look here. So I saw some people who came up here who wanted a little old reading, and why not? I think we saw here. Yes, Susanna. Susanna, she came on first of all. She says here, 28th 11th 1960. She says she'd like a general reading. Now it's interesting here. As I was just tuning in here, I was feeling here, I don't know who this is for, this particular message, but would anybody understand a gentleman who passed on to the other side called, oh my goodness, is this him? Eric. I just heard the name Eric. Yes.
My
Okay.
goji bells is ringing.
Sorry?
My goji bells just rang.
Okay, well, I've just heard this name just come straight in, and I was wondering if it's someone else. No, I know where this is for. My goodness, I just want to say here, if I'm looking at this and him wanting to come through, his energy is about upliftment. His words are uplifting. So a message to us all is to uplift and be part of a beautiful feeling. That's his message this morning. And also, if I was to say to you, Guiomar, his message to you as he's coming across, I didn't realise, I didn't click with a name first of all. I just heard Eric, and I think it's someone else out here. It's not. Now I know now I know what this is. This is a dear friend of ours who passed. His message that comes straight through to you is to say here that you're going to be leaving a lot of old people behind, but you'll be gaining with new in front of you because of the way your climate's going to change. But he's rewarding you with this, and there is a lot to do with health and fitness that you'll be working with in front of you, which he's very proud of. He was a very, very lovely man, and he's also saying here too. He says here, I'll say this to you, okay? Don't be sold by one solution.
Sorry,
don't be sold by one solution.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know what he means by this, and I'll talk to you about this afterwards. And his message to us all, it's all because he comes through this and wants to pass through me, then I know his energies are about us all here. And it's about it. You know, sometimes we have a cross, the Holy Cross, which is about belief in a religion, belief in something. His message to us all here is to believe in ourselves at this present time, because that's going to be our guiding light forwards. And he's very, very happy to say this, but I just picked wonderful. Whoa, that was quite important that I picked up there, and I'm just so happy to be able to pass that on. So thank you very much. And I know he's going to be around us, so whatever the message I pick up for everyone here, then I'll use this as well. Well, I know he'd love to do this. And right, okay, he's just given me here as well. Okay, Susanna, would you understand here, well, let me understand here, a lovely lady out there called Mary. Mary, he wants to bring, he's just showing me here, he's working as a channel here for us all on this particular show to bring through Mary. And Susanna, if you know this name here, that's absolutely fantastic. If you don't, if someone else knows the name Mary, please, just let us know. But as I'm working with you here, Susanna, the energy that I'm being passed through here is white. Is very white. It's a very white energy. So this is about transforming altogether. Susanna, yes, I understand your uncle as well. So your uncle's name is Eric. Okay, so that's interesting as well. But I feel I know where I got the Eric from here. But if I'm working with you, Susanna, I'm working with the name Eric as well on your behalf here. Would you understand the working with like copper things, which is like boilers or plumbing or big steam things, or even, it's not even just that, because sometimes big copper things also associated with vats for beer or things like this, for example. But he's just given me this first of all, and as he's also stepping through, he wants to say his teeth weren't very good. His teeth were awful. He just says here, just pointing at this, and also his energy is to say to you that. He's saying here is to keep yourself in a place where you're extremely at peace. He just said, yes, I'm grounding myself. And yes, because that's exactly what he's saying to you. He's just about to say here, there's no need to go too external from yourself or too extreme. It's just literally just staying within yourself and staying in that energy to keep grounded. That's one of his messages here. He also is saying to you as well, is that needing to it's about the music, it's about upliftment with you, which is a little bit what the other Eric was saying here, but he just wants to say here how that energy is working nicely with you. So that's one of the messages I like to say here. And when we're in that energy of just being grounded, we've got that nice feeling. That nice feeling go on for decades. Doesn't matter what else goes on externally. If we feel within ourselves, we're resonating on the right pathway. And sometimes it's interesting, isn't it? We always worry about what's going on out there. But if you're focused on what's going on inside, it doesn't matter what goes on out there because you've always got yourself. You've always got yourself, that lovely feeling about yourself. And that's his energy this morning. Okay, right. Are you ready over there?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is there a particular question?
No, it's just a general reading. Just general reading.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, Susanna is a Sagittarius, like our friend Eric.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, so Sag is a very free spirit, and Moon in Aries also likes to do what one wants, but kind of feels trapped by other people's wishes. And it's a way to feel belonging because the Aries energy is about doing what you want, but if you do what you want, you can find yourself alone.
Mm-hmm.
And with the South Node in Pisces, for Susanna, it's not nice to feel alone. You want to feel with others. But the way to feel others with North Node and Pluto and Virgo is about connecting with you, with your body, and of being of service to others. But not being of service to so people acknowledge you, but just for the pleasure of being of service to them.
Yeah.
Also, there's a Lilith Cancer, Lilith Uranus, and Lilith Mars. So you probably didn't feel. I mean, you're from 1960, so you've probably learned and gone through a lot of this. But at the beginning, like felt like the odd one out, the black sheep, and so forth. So you probably learned to do a lot of things to serve others, so others would acknowledge you. But it's more about serving others for the pleasure of serving others and giving to others and finding the freedom there, which is freedom from not needing the recognition of what you do.
Now, this is so interesting what you're saying there because I'm looking at the cards here. This is so interesting what you're saying. The resulting card is the Queen of Diamonds, which is about you being in a financially stable and a strong position in front of you. It's not just about money, but it's about feeling that grounding because the coins here are very much related. So the diamonds are very much related to Earth. What you also got here, though, is this thing about the fear of moving forwards. But you're going to leave that behind, though. That's interesting. The fear of moving forwards, you're going to go, I'm going to leave that behind and start moving forward because it's about letting go. Really about letting go. And your overarching card here, which is very interesting with this, is here we go. It's the Six of Clubs. Six of Clubs is an interesting card because it's about an achievement, something you're going to say, right, you've seen those old emotions, you've seen those old experiences, you've seen what you've been holding you back. Now move forwards. Now change. And that's what you change to, the Queen of Diamonds. So if you're prepared to be on that bridge, like we talked about earlier, and say, right, I am going to go forward. I am going to start doing things more for myself rather than feeling restricted, whether it's by health or whether it's by anything else around you. Yes, all right, I'm not the doctor, but or the way you're thinking about health and holding you back, like it was an old security. What is it? How is it you would like to be? On one side of the bridge, feeling you're in this restricted situation, or the other side of the bridge here, feeling that you're taking the rewards of life. Your cards here also saying as well, 1280, you're in a 2. The energy here come up to a 2. This is about needing to find a balance with yourself and your world around you. The 2 is about the pivot. Middle here, feeling good about yourself and feeling good about your people you're connecting with, your environment, everything. It's about feeling that balance there. But you've been looking for this. There you go. How's that? Good. Right. Okay. Let's go and move on here. We've got the next lady who came up here was a very nice lady called Eleni Sava. Hello, Eleni. And she's gone 28th of 1st, 1998. She's gone pink, a general reading, please. Eleni, what do I need to tell you first of all here? Okay, I have a lady here who comes through. And this lady here, I don't know what, but I know your name is Elise Sava, but would you understand here about something about France, please? France, the connection of France. Because I'm hearing this lovely energy around you of a lady who was connected with France, or she was French, where even if she lived in a country, but I've got to say France. This lady here I'm talking to was a very sophisticated lady, very, very nice lady, very lovely, lovely connection with this lady that I've got here. She wants to show me that there's a wealth to her, but there's also a loveliness to her. Like she was so interesting to talk to. And that's what she wanted to be remembered for. That's what she wants to be remembered for, that she was quite eccentric, I think is probably the right way to say this, Emily. And I feel from her, and she's connecting and coming through. She wants to say here, would you understand you are full of creativity? You are full of it. Full of it. Would you understand your problem, if I call it like this, is which direction? Which direction do you take? Which direction do you go in? And it's interesting here because one of the things I'd say here is it's bring out something with you. It's like sometimes, and I go through this, so I totally understand this. We have so many things we could do, but we can't do them all at once because we're just spreading our net too wide and we never get something completed. But if we focus on a couple of things in front of you, just focus on those. Something that really says, right, that's the first one. Go with that, and then the rest will follow its own little suit. And that's what I say to you. Your creative potential around you, Emily, is massive. And I think here, what daunts you is you've got so much there that sometimes it brings you down thinking, I'm never going to get anywhere. Yes, you can. You just focus on one thing. Yes, 100%, she says. Yes. And I think here to say to you, because this lady here, the way she's giving me this information to you, is saying here that this is where your pathway is. And this lady just wants to be remembered to you here because she says here, there's a very short name to her, but it's a nickname she's trying to give me here. And it sounds like M. It's an M name because like Mo or something like this, for instance. But it's a short nickname she's given me, and she's also wants to show me here. She says here, she's always with you, and that she always wants to say here that she wants you to believe in your dreams. But we've got too many. Just file them down, funnel them down like water coming through a funnel until we just come to the bit we need to go on, and everything else will follow.
Yeah, yeah, Eleni. So it's a funny thing because Eleni has also a North Node in Virgo, like Susanna, but this time it's conjunct the Sun.
Oh.
Okay, so it's a Sun North Node in Virgo, and the Sun is squaring Pluto in Sagittarius. So before we had the same thing, but the other way around. Susanna was Pluto conjunct the North Node in Virgo, squaring the Sun in Sagittarius. I love how these themes just
these themes just because they just come out of amazing places.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Eleni has Venus, Mercury, and Mars in Leo, hence the creativity in that South Node in Pisces. It's like,
oh my goodness, it's there. It's amazing.
So it's the theme that we were talking about today. Many ideas, lots of seeds. They have to be watered. They have to be taken care of. They have to be, the earth has to be taken care of. You have to look at the earth and every day come out and choose the seeds that you're going to plant, and all this process that has to be done, right, to be able to make real something that is in your imagination. And in this sense, I would also because of the Virgo energy, Sun and North Node, it's the difference between routine and rituals. So a routine is something that you have to do. Like I routinely have to wake up in the morning, wash my teeth, have my breakfast. If you have to go to work, you go to work, you take your children to school, blah, 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 blah. I have to do this. That would be a routine. But routine can also be taken as a ritual. It just depends on your decision. What's a ritual? It's something that you do every day. It's like a routine, but the ritual serves the purpose for you to connect with you. So it's about being mindful in what you do. It's about being mindful in the steps you take. This is good also for Susanna, well, it's in general, but this is very North Node in Virgo. So it's like, okay, I'm going to create a series of rituals which will help me plant my seeds, water them, and in the long run, harvest what I've planted. Okay, so it's all these little things, like you can turn your breakfast into a ritual. You can turn your morning routine into a ritual. You can even, yesterday with a client, he was saying, it's that when I see the, like we create a quote for a client, and then I see the quote and there's a comma missing here and this and that, and it's not perfect, and it's like, and that just makes me feel so tense and nervous and everything. It's, why don't you turn your quote into a ritual? So you sit down, you make yourself a nice cup of tea, and then you just look at your quote and you look at the things that you would like to make better, but from a ritualistic point of view, not from a routine. I have to check this and do this. I have to be perfect. I have to do it well, So it's changing that strive for perfection, which can connect many people to the imposter, like I'm not good enough to do it, and turn that into the perfection of the present moment, just enjoying what you're doing, that step by step, that little action towards your goal.
This is lovely. This is lovely. I love what you're saying. I got this lovely lady here. It's just coming into my head here like she was a very affectionate, very cuddly character. This lady here who's connected with you, Eleni. And the other part I'd like to say here is that she was very popular, very successful when she was younger. I get a feeling she had something about the arts herself, or she was creative or artistic in some respect. But she's here, and it's interesting here because your cards this morning, beautiful. Now your this feeling here like, oh God, it's overwhelming. It's difficult. Which way do I go forwards? I feel like I'm being pulled backwards. Then who are you trying to get approval from? Who are you trying to get approval from? If you get approval, trying to get approval from other people, it probably won't go anywhere. But if you tune into yourself, it will do. Now, interesting. I've got to work this 5, 6, 6, 12. So your numerology on this is a 3. It's interesting. It's about connecting with the collective around you. And I say the collective, this is the energy with you that makes you feel like I have an importance in this world. Then everything else is just going to follow suit. Everything else have a reason. And then, I agree with you, it becomes a ritual, and it becomes more, not something you have to do, but something you really enjoy doing. That's going to be
Yeah.
your way forward to things. Lovely, lovely to read for you here. And the spirits this one, and spiritual energies around you. Oh, this lovely lady. It's just so nice. So nice, so loving. Yes. Okay. And sometimes here it's, what you understand as well, guys, in this particular time is move our bodies. Move our bodies. And it doesn't mean say we've got to go running. It doesn't mean to say we've got to go climbing up mountains, but it's about moving our bodies, because moving energy in our bodies, as I'm being shown here, is about what's releasing the emotions in our legs, our feet, our ankles, our hips, our backs, our shoulders, and moving this stuff out and just doing it.
Yes.
You don't even have to, okay, it could be yoga, it could be dance, but be very, very aware you are moving energy. That is something I'm
Exactly.
being told this morning to say to you guys, to move it, and you will feel great, because you're going,
Yeah.
my God, all that stuff's lifted up, and so you're just going, where? And out it goes. Old energy.
Yes, and that's exactly what I said to a client yesterday. So it's about, I said, he accumulates a lot of energy in his body. Like he has a stellium in the sixth house,
Right?
with Pluto, with Saturn, with Mercury, with Mars, with the sun and the moon. It was incredible. So there's so much energy, and I go, just move, like
Yes.
sit on a ball and just move your spine, especially. The more you move your spine, the more the energy will flow through you. So it's all about I'm always sitting in different places. I don't know if you guys realize, but there's always different backgrounds. And sometimes I'm sitting on a chair, or on a ball, in the kitchen, on the table, on the floor.
Oh, I
So
agree. I agree. I know I feel like, are we in the same house? Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant. No, lovely. Okay, Susie Westcott comes in. She says, good morning. She says, 16th of the 5th, 1958. She's gone for the colour purple. I'm in a rut emotionally. Need a pep talk, please. Okay. Um, in a rut emotion, I'm just going to see what comes up here to say around this. Would you understand here? We're a little bit, we're overthinking things at the moment. Would you understand here? Because I'm just being shown here by the lovely energy of Eric, who wants to step in and just says here, just points to your head. And he's saying to be here. Would you understand here being a little bit too much in our head at the moment? And that's sometimes the problem. When we're too much in our head, it's like we miss the true value of the heart. And although you're in a rut emotionally, because we're not in our heart, is why we can't source out the emotion. And so what I'm actually being shown here, and actually he's stepping forwards, he's stepping not to the side, but he's still there, but he wants to bring through, it's interesting, you've got a dog with you, but there's another dog who's coming through, who's a very longer haired, that looks like a short haired dog, if I don't mind saying, longer haired dog here, but it's a similar sort of colour. And it's interesting here too, because would you understand a gentleman who loved, I don't think this was gardening, I think it's more to do with farming. And would you understand if I was to introduce a chap to you who wants to show me farmland, but outdoors, really outdoorsy man, and I also pick up coal as well. So I want to say this man may have changed jobs in his life, being from a coalman to a gardening or farming or something like this, or maybe there's some bit of a combination here. That's could be peat farming, but that's more. It could be that which is still connected with this. Overthinking, yes, she says here. Overthinking, yes. And also here, this gentleman, as he steps forward here, he says he wouldn't normally be a man to go sorting out women's emotions. And I do not mean that to insult you, one little bit, Susie. But when we're on the other side, we have that ability here. In fact, there's a lot of laughter going on over there to say this. Would you understand here too? He wants to show me a big dinner party around you, and which is nice. It must obviously mean that we're getting more connected with people to come round together and get round tables. And he showed me here, I want to say an I name, like Ian, but this particular guy. And as he's talking to me, his thing to you here is to say to you, would you understand here, you do not, here's the interesting thing, you do not need to find a solution. I mean, okay, so that's mad, isn't it? But not really. No, you do not need to find a solution. The way your emotional situation is going to resolve in front of you is very interesting. It's very philosophical. The way this chap is coming across with this is to say to you here, just go, allow yourself to go through it rather than fighting against it, which in some respects is the feeling of the rut. Is just be, if I can say it like this, which sometimes here is about letting go a little bit, and also what is it inside yourself that you're resisting against that you need to resolve, which is not part of the situation you're going through now?
Cooperation.
Okay. Cooperation. Also cooperation with the self.
Yes, and cooperate and learn to cooperate. North Node in Scorpio, and there's like Sun in Taurus wants to be do it on your own. South Node Taurus, I don't need any help, and then so the moon in Aries wants to do her own thing, but then at the same time she feels obliged to respond to others. Yep. So there's this thing going on with me and others, all the time. So I want to be independent, but I don't want to. I want to be with others, but so it's like a bit of a confusion. It's a lifetime to learn to cooperate with others.
Yes. Okay, that's interesting.
You don't get lost.
Yes.
So not losing the self. Normally women tend to lose ourselves in others. So it's more about, there's also some indicators of dependency and of connecting too superficially to people. There's Mercury moon. So there's a tendency to connect from the mind to others and not, just let the connection with the other person sink deep. There could have been a tendency of feeling rejected by others, and it's more about creating that connection with others and learning to cooperate and going through the different emotional states that you might have and the other person might have to get that cooperation happening. No, not just saying, okay, that's it, doesn't work, gonna do it myself. No, so it's a bit this attitude. So you don't have to solve it. You need to cooperate to be able to solve whatever it is that you want to.
Okay, I love that. And I'm also getting another message here for you, Susie, and this is from Eric, and this is here is like bouncing a ball against a wall and thinking about your problem. and bouncing a ball. But the thing is, yes, you're bouncing against the ball still comes back to you, it's the same ball, you're still in the same place, it's the same place. It's not resolving anything because you're just throwing this ball at the wall. You have to move on. You have to go for be amongst the trees, walk, do things that physically move you to start moving energy around your body for you to be able to resolve this situation and for you to be able to feel free in your own heart. And yes, and if we use the cooperation element of this too, where this is concerned, then I think we're in a good place. Hopefully that helps you this morning. But move ourselves, move our minds, take ourselves to a different place, go for a walk, do things that change the environment rather than being sit there thinking. Because often here, and it's something I used to go and do. I used to get over the top here, especially when I was younger, is thinking about things. I found the easy way for me to go and do it is go for a swim. If I swim and just think about things, and as I'm going along and moving my body with the water, that would then resolve it. I'll come out and go, oh, I know what to do. Yes. Hopefully that helps there. Right. Okay. Let's go and have a fine little chat this morning. To a very nice lady, and this is Jo Gardner. She says, 16/11/1968, really confused. We're on that bridge, aren't we? 16/11/1968. Yeah. Susie Westcott says, that's fascinating, a lot to think about. Yes, I think there is in that energy too. And if I just sit back and just allow the energies just to flow through to come up to me here, Jo, I would like to say to you here that why are we having a go at ourselves? Why are we having a go at ourselves? Okay, that's the first thing I'd like to say to you. I am being shown here to say to you that your situation around you at the present time does not mean you have to be not torturing yourself here. I wouldn't say it like that, but we're going why? It's a bit like this in some respects. And the other energy around you as well with this, which I think is important, is to say to you that it's funny how people change, things change, and sometimes we just have to let moments go by. And because we could be in a moment we're thinking, as you say, really confused, and a couple of days' time, it changes. Yes, it changes. And that's, I think, when you're going to find that. And the energy around at the moment is to take the pressure off of yourself. Yes.
Yeah, but it's understandable because Jo has Sun in Scorpio with Neptune. Then there's like 4 planets, including the Moon in Libra.
Right.
I'll explain what all this means. North Node in Aries, which wants to be independent. So there's like a lot of dependency on what others are thinking.
With the Libra there. Yes.
With others, and also there's this Moon Libra. There's a we have Libra Moon, Sun, or Ascendant. There's like a very heavy Capricorn part of you. It's like your inner child had to be too responsible when very young, which makes you be very strict with yourself and then sometimes with others, normally with yourself, and does not let you really enjoy things and be spontaneous, which is what your North Node in Aries really wants. No? So that's when you can be more like on the obsessive side with that Sun Scorpio there, with Chiron also. So, and Pluto.
Okay. And the other thing about this as well, Joe, I'd like to say here, would you understand a gentleman who just came through to me and he said, Pie Man. Pie Man. This Pie Man. So this is the man who I believe, just looking at this observation here, would have had something to do with pies. Pies, whether he used to make them, whether he used to do whatever. But he just says,
or he was a mathematician.
Mathematician, it could be Pie Man, yes. Pi equals MC squared, yes. But he just says Pie Man, and he's looking like a but he has a not a uniform, but he has an overall of some description on him, and he just says Pie Man. If you understand that, then that's message for you, and his thoughts from him to you. And if I looked at the cards and the numerology of the cards here, Hannah's collected this morning, is interesting. It is so interesting because your cards, wow. I would take the situation that you're in and turn it from this feeling of confused and feeling of doubt around you into positivity, because your cards like saying here, go and do something that makes you feel good about yourself. First of all, I'd say here, go and do something, even if it's whatever it is about money is going to get a little bit better in front of you. In fact, money will get a little bit better. In fact, friendships around you turn more towards stronger. There's a relationship which looks like it's going to get a little bit easier for you. And then you've got this ace. The ace is up your sleeve. The ace is up your sleeve here to say here, whatever problem you think is going through, I would almost like to say here that by tomorrow, this situation is resolved. Because it would have moved on.
For Joe could be from when you're 4 to 6 years old, this Libra pattern happens at that age, more or less. So you maybe something like I don't know, you were not allowed to play with your favorite doll, or something was taken away from you, or whatever. It's like something that symbolizes when you had to stop being a fun, playful, happy-go-lucky child, right? So imagine if it were, or you wanted a Barbie and you never got that Barbie, whatever it is, no? So the ritual would consist in getting yourself that toy, that whatever it was that you wanted, it couldn't have, or was taken away from you, and giving that to your inner child to play with. Say you wanted to create little costumes for your Barbie, and that was not possible, or whatever happened. So you weren't allowed to play with that doll. So now that you're older, you can do that. You can go back to that moment and finish the game.
It's lovely. It's very interesting here.
The circle.
Yeah, just we're going here. There's a lady here, and she's got a berry on her head, and it's got one of those little things that stick up on top of the berry. She says here that she either fell down and something happened, or whatever this is here, what happened to her. She said her health dropped rapidly, and she passed. But she just wants to come forward here. She says, watching it, she just gives me Anne. So if you would understand a lady called Anne, I don't think she was particularly old, but she just says here, health condition just went whoosh, and she went down very fast, passed away. But she says she's here, she's looking at you, and she's just going like this, chin up. Yes. Well, that was lovely. What a lovely show. What a lovely show. What a lovely energy. And it's interesting. So I think here, guys, if you could take a lot out of today's show, even if you didn't get a reading, but you want to look at it from what we talked about earlier on, discussions about grounding, moving forwards, and how we can feel positive about this, then magic. Magic, magic. But it's been lovely. Guys, on Friday, I'm joined by the wonderful medium Helen Grady. We're going to do a very lively, upbeat, positive show, as we normally do on that particular Friday night. And starts at 8 p.m. EU, 7 p.m. UK. And if you're somewhere else in the world, it's whatever time zone you're in. But thank you very much for joining us this morning. Guiomar, as always, is a pleasure. I love our Wednesdays. It's such a philosophical, astrological, spiritual, and great conversational morning. Always is. Thank you very, very much. Have a lovely, lovely day wherever you are, guys. And you take care. And blessings to you all. With loads of love.
Bye.
And burgers. Take care.